With trick-or-treating scaled back this year, there are still ways to enjoy Halloween at home. Joining me right now is Andrea Barbalik. She's the editor-in-chief of a new magazine, The Week Junior. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us. And for those of us that are unfamiliar with the magazine, tell us about it.
Thank you so much for having me. The Week Junior is a weekly news magazine for children ages 8 to 14. We bring the news of the world to children every week in an interesting and engaging way they can understand, whether we're covering election 2020 or mummies discovered in Egypt, the World Series, or entertainment recommendations like we're discussing today.
So you never know what you're going to learn on the Pix 11 Morning News, because I am going to single-handedly, after this broadcast, become a subscriber, because that is right up my alley for my two children who are 11 and 14. But let's get to Halloween. So you have some fun ideas that are in the magazine about getting into the holiday spirit, because, you know, we can't always go outside and trick or treat. So the first thing you say is there's a TV show that some of our kids might enjoy. What is it?
Yes, season 2 of Ghostwriter premiered this month on Apple TV Plus, and this is an award-winning show about a ghost that haunts a neighborhood bookstore. And 4 children team up to solve the mystery of the ghost's identity. So it's a fun Halloween story, but it's also a story about the main character of Ruben, who is new to town and struggling to fit in, and this is a theme that many children can relate to.
I love this. I will look out for that one. And if a TV show isn't your thing, you have a movie recommendation, which I think my youngest has already seen.
Well, would you be referring to A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting?
Yes!
It's now streaming on Netflix, and this is a movie about a girl named Kelly who is babysitting for a boy who gets snatched by monsters. And to get him back, she teams up with a secret society of babysitters. So this movie is based on a book series by Joe Ballerini, who also wrote the screenplay. And we interviewed him for The Week Junior, and he told us he wrote the book to help kids and adults feel a sense of power over their fears. And he told us, even if you're a kid, you can rise up against any monster that messes with you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Your next one features my favorite sociologist. Some people refer to him as a comedian, but Chris Rock, to me, is one of the best sociologists. He has something new coming out. Tell us about that.
The movie is called The Witches, and it's streaming right now on HBO Max, and it's based on the classic novel by Roald Dahl, who is such a favorite among children and so many parents. It tells the story of a boy and his grandmother who encounter witches that turn kids into mice. It has an all-star cast featuring Anne Hathaway, Octavia Spencer, Stanley Tucci, and Chris Rock as the narrator.
I'm just looking at this trailer now. That's some big billing in that movie. I love that. Humans turning into mice. I wonder if I can channel some sort of superpower. Off of the big screen and into books. What's happening on Mercer Street?
Well, every parent wants their child to be a great reader. And so I have 2 excellent middle grade books to recommend today. The first one is The Second Best Haunted Hotel on Mercer Street. And this is a story about a girl whose family owns a hotel called the Hotel Ivan. And they've owned the hotel for 400 years. And a big hotel moves into town, and her family's hotel starts to lose business. So she becomes friends with a ghost, and they hatch a plan to save the hotel. And the second book,
I love that, and that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a story. It's a story about an unlikely friendship, and it's an underdog story, which everyone loves. The second book is called Yorick and Bones, and this is a graphic novel, which is so popular among kids today. And so Yorick is a skeleton who's been brought back to life after being buried for hundreds of years, and Bones is the dog that digs him up. And so they become friends, and they have silly adventures together. And the dialogue in the book is inspired by Shakespeare. So it's really a very clever concept.
Get that Shakespeare in any way you possibly can. And before we go,
Start them young on Shakespeare.
TV, movies, books, not your thing? Yeah, exactly. You also have a game recommendation.
I do. So kids who love Harry Potter will love Eichenfell, which is a new game based on a magical school with some very big secrets. and it's available on several platforms, the Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation. And the Eichenfeld School is very similar to Hogwarts, except that it's even bigger. So kids who play the game will meet all sorts of creatures, and they'll have adventures, and they'll get to learn almost 50 different magic spells as they play the game.
All right, well, the 50 different magic spells, maybe I need to test them out before I play them with my kids. Andrea, thank you so much for those wonderful tips to get us into the spirit of Halloween this year. We appreciate it.
It was great to be here. Thank you.
I like a good Halloween activity.